He's one of the most recognizable actors in Hollywood, the wild warrior of the screen, the Ocean King, the Dothraki leader. But behind the muscles and the long hair is a man who once lived in a van, showered at the beach, and fell in love with a woman he had only seen on TV as a boy. This is the real story of Jason Momoa, the warrior, the dreamer, the lover. Jason was born in Hawaii, raised by his single mother in Iowa after his parents divorced. From the warm beaches of the Pacific to the cold plains of the Midwest, his childhood was a culture shock. He was different. Brown-skinned, long-haired, artistic. The only Polynesian kid in a white school. He was bullied, pushed around, misunderstood. But his mother raised him to be strong, to embrace his difference, and to never be ashamed of who he was. And when Jason was just 8 years old, he saw someone on TV who took his breath away. Lisa Bonet, the girl who played Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. He was mesmerized. "I told my mom, I'm going to find her and I'm going to marry her," he said years later. It was love at first sight, and I meant it. But before that dream could ever come true, he had a long road ahead. Jason tried modeling, then acting. His first role came in Baywatch Hawaii, a show many actors would rather forget. But it was a start. And when the show ended, Hollywood didn't exactly come knocking. He moved to Los Angeles with nothing. He lived out of his van, slept on rooftops, showered at the beach, ate once a day if he could afford it. He was broke, unknown, and no one believed in him. Casting directors rejected him, said he looked too exotic, too intense, not right for the part. But he kept going. And then came Game of Thrones. The role? Called Drogo, a warlord who barely speaks. The audition? Jason walked in, said no lines, and instead performed a brutal haka, the traditional Maori war dance. He shouted, pounded his chest, roared, and walked out. The role was his. Game of Thrones changed his life. Overnight, people knew who he was. He became a symbol of raw power. But as soon as his character was killed off, Hollywood again went silent. Jason spent the next 2 years unemployed. He couldn't land a single major role, couldn't even afford groceries. "People think after Thrones I had it made, but we were starving," he said in an interview. "I couldn't get work. Nobody wanted me." But even during the hard times, there was something, or rather, someone, who gave him strength. Because in 2005, his childhood dream came true. Jason met Lisa Bonet, his teenage crush, at a bar in LA through mutual friends. He couldn't believe it. She was even more magical in person. And somehow she liked him back. "I just tried not to screw it up," he laughed later. "I took her for a Guinness. That was it. We were together from that night on." Lisa was already an icon. The ex-wife of musician Lenny Kravitz, the mother of Zoe Kravitz, a woman known for her depth and soul. And Jason? He was a broke, struggling actor. But they clicked, on a level that had nothing to do with fame. They moved in together, lived a quiet life. He built furniture. She gardened. They raised goats and chickens. No red carpets. No interviews. Just love. In 2007, they welcomed their daughter Lola. A year later, their son Nako Wolf. And Jason, though not Zoe's biological father, adored her as his own. They became a real tribe. And then, finally, the world caught up. DC offered Jason the role of Aquaman. A character once mocked became a billion-dollar franchise. And Jason, once homeless, became a global superstar. But through all the success, he stayed grounded. Still rode motorcycles. Still surfed. Still did push-ups in the dirt. Still went home to Lisa and the kids. Until 2022, when the fairy tale cracked. After 16 years together, Jason and Lisa announced their separation. No cheating. No drama. Just life pulling them in different directions. "We free each other," they wrote in a joint statement. "So we can both grow into who we're becoming." Jason was heartbroken. He admitted he never stopped loving her. Never would. And even now, he calls her Ohana. Family, forever. They didn't fight, didn't blame each other. It's just their paths drifted apart. He was diving deeper into Hollywood. Filming, traveling, always on the move. She longed for peace, solitude, a spiritual life far from the cameras. But life moves forward. In 2024, Jason revealed he was dating actress Adria Arjona, a fellow adventurer with a love for nature and motorcycles. She shares his wild spirit. They hike together, travel, laugh, and stay out of the spotlight. Today, Jason Momoa is more than a movie star. He's proof that childhood dreams can come true, that you can survive rejection, poverty, heartbreak, and still rise. That being different isn't a weakness, it's your strength. He's a warrior with a soft soul, a lover of nature, a man who builds with his hands and protects with his heart. And if you ever feel like the world doesn't get you, remember Jason Momoa, because once he was just a little boy with a big dream and a poster of Lisa Bonet on his wall. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder. Dreams don't have an expiration date.